She blinked, and TV history was changed forever. I Dream of Jeannie wasn't just a cute 60s sitcom about a genie in love. It was a behind-the-scenes whirlwind of secrets, scandals, and shocking studio rules. From forbidden kisses to wardrobe controversies and hidden rivalries, the magic lamp hid more than just wishes. Here are 20 weird secrets about I Dream of Jeannie that most fans won't believe. Number 1. Sidney Sheldon wasn't imagining something original. He adapted the idea from earlier fantasy work, and to compete with Bewitched. Sidney Sheldon's creation of I Dream of Jeannie was less an act of pure invention than a strategic adaptation of existing fantasy concepts, shaped by both market trends and earlier storytelling. The series was conceived in part as a response to the 1964 success of Bewitched, which had popularized the premise of a magical woman navigating everyday American life. Sheldon drew inspiration from earlier fantasy works, particularly the 1963 film The Brass Bottle, which featured a genie entering the modern world and causing comedic upheaval, an idea he reshaped for television. Number 2. Barbara Eden was secretly pregnant during the first season, and production went to great lengths to hide it. During the first season of I Dream of Jeannie, Barbara Eden faced a significant personal challenge. She was secretly pregnant, a fact she discovered the very day the series was officially picked up. The production team went to extraordinary lengths to conceal her pregnancy on screen, ensuring that the show's magical premise and visual continuity remained intact. Costume designers created wardrobe solutions that masked her changing figure, often using loose-fitting garments, strategically placed belts, and layered outfits. Directors and cinematographers adjusted staging and blocking, keeping Eden behind furniture, props, or other cast members whenever possible. Additionally, some early episodes were shot in black and white, which helped obscure physical details and offered greater flexibility in framing shots. These combined efforts allowed Eden to continue performing as Jeannie without disruption, maintaining the character's signature charm and physicality. The meticulous planning and creativity behind this concealment highlight both the production's professionalism and the collaborative ingenuity required to adapt to unforeseen circumstances, ensuring that the show could proceed smoothly while preserving the magic that would captivate audiences for years to come. Number 3. The first season was shot in black and white, not because of cheapness, but for practical safety during Eden's pregnancy and for effects work. Although color television was becoming increasingly standard by the mid-1960s, the first season of I Dream of Jeannie was filmed in black and white for very practical reasons rather than budgetary ones. Barbara Eden had just learned she was pregnant, and the production needed to conceal her changing figure while preserving the show's visual consistency. Shooting in monochrome allowed wardrobe designers, directors, and cinematographers to hide her pregnancy more effectively through clothing choices, staging, and careful framing. Black and white filming also simplified the execution of the show's numerous special effects, such as smoke, optical tricks, and compositing, which were central to Jeannie's magical antics. Once the series was established and Eden's pregnancy safely concluded, the show transitioned to color, enabling it to take advantage of the medium's growing popularity and fully showcase its vibrant sets, costumes, and magical effects. This thoughtful combination of black and white practicality and later color exuberance demonstrates the production team's ingenuity in balancing logistical challenges with creative ambition, ensuring that both the star's well-being and the show's whimsical charm were maintained without compromise. Number 4. Sidney Sheldon originally didn't want Jeannie to be a blonde, yet Barbara Eden, a blonde, got the role anyway. Sidney Sheldon initially envisioned Jeannie as someone other than a blonde, concerned that a blonde lead might too closely resemble Samantha from Bewitched and risk inviting unfavorable comparisons. Despite this, Barbara Eden, already a blonde, auditioned and delivered screen tests that showcased her charm, comedic timing, and magnetic screen presence. Sheldon also recalled her performance in the film The Brass Bottle, which had established her as capable of embodying a magical, mischievous character with warmth and humor. Impressed by her talent and charisma, Sheldon ultimately changed course and cast Eden, a decision that would define the show's visual identity. Her blonde hair, paired with the sparkling pink or magenta harem costume and signature ponytail, became central to Jeannie's instantly recognizable look, helping distinguish the character from other fantasy sitcoms of the era. Eden's casting not only shaped the aesthetic of I Dream of Jeannie, but also reinforced the character's playful, enchanting persona, cementing her place in television history as an iconic figure whose image remains deeply ingrained in popular culture. Number 5. The show's opening looked and sounded very different at first. Early episodes used a Paul Frees narration and a different theme. When I Dream of Jeannie first aired, its opening sequence was markedly different from the iconic version most viewers remember today. Early episodes featured an expository voiceover by Paul Frees, whose narration explained Jeannie's magical origins and set up the premise of the series, providing context for audiences unfamiliar with the story. This narration was paired with a temporary musical theme that lacked the playful, catchy quality that would later define the show. The fully animated, colorized opening, featuring Jeannie emerging from her bottle in a whimsical sequence, accompanied by Alexander Courage's jaunty, memorable theme composed by Hugo Montenegro, was introduced in later seasons after the show's initial reception allowed the producers to invest in a more polished and visually distinctive sequence. Number 6. The familiar instrumental theme You Hum, Hugo Montenegro's Jeannie, wasn't introduced until Season 2. The instantly recognizable instrumental theme that fans often hum today, Hugo Montenegro's playful, jaunty Jeannie melody, was not part of the show's first season. During Season 1, the series featured a different musical score and an expository opening that set up the premise but lacked the whimsical, catchy quality that would later define the show's identity. Starting in Season 2, Montenegro's composition replaced the original music, bringing a bright, energetic tone that perfectly complemented Jeannie's mischievous personality and magical antics. The theme's combination of lively instrumentation and memorable rhythm helped cement the show's branding, making Jeannie's arrival into the modern world feel fun, charming, and instantly recognizable. This musical shift was more than cosmetic. It shaped viewers' emotional connection to the series, reinforcing the lighthearted, fantastical atmosphere, while signaling that Jeannie's adventures were playful, magical, and utterly entertaining. Montenegro's theme quickly became synonymous with the character, ensuring that audiences would remember the show long after its broadcast. Number 7. Jeannie's signature blink plus head nod plus crossed arms magic gesture was a set idea. Then Eden added her own flourish. Jeannie's signature magic gesture, her blink, head nod, and crossed arms move, was carefully developed during the show's early production, combining directorial guidance with Barbara Eden's creative input. Director Gene Nelson originally suggested that Jeannie's magical powers should be accompanied by a concise, visually striking gesture, giving the character a distinctive and repeatable way to signal her spells. Building on this concept, Eden refined the move, adding the crossed arms flourish and subtle head nod that transformed it from a simple indication of magic into a fully realized character trademark. Her timing, expression, and playful execution imbued the gesture with charm, humor, and personality, making it instantly recognizable to audiences. Number 8. Eden once got literally stuck in Jeannie's bottle on set, and it wasn't funny at the time. Barbara Eden has shared a memorable behind-the-scenes mishap that wasn't quite as whimsical as it might sound. During filming, she once became literally stuck inside Jeannie's bottle set. The incident occurred during a lunch break when the prop was left in a partially closed position, and Eden found herself trapped inside the confined space. Far from the magical comedy portrayed on screen, the experience was uncomfortable and stressful, highlighting the physical challenges of performing in tight, elaborate sets designed for visual effect. Crew members had to carefully extract her from the bottle, turning what was intended as a light-hearted prop into a temporarily confining trap. Eden has recounted the story with humor in later interviews, but at the moment it was far from funny, emphasizing the sometimes unpredictable realities of production work. Number 9. Fans obsess over Jeannie's midriff, and the show leaned into that mythos. Yes, many viewers asked about her belly button. Jeannie's skimpy harem costume, with its exposed midriff and sparkling accents, quickly became one of television's most iconic and talked-about looks, sparking decades of fan fascination. Viewers were often curious about the practicality and modesty of the outfit, with many specifically asking Barbara Eden about her belly button, a question that highlights the mix of admiration and playful obsession the costume inspired. The show leaned into this mythos, with interviews and publicity occasionally addressing the wardrobe, giving fans a glimpse into how the provocative yet whimsical look was carefully managed on set. Eden has shared that costume designers balanced the revealing nature of the outfit with practical considerations, including modesty panels and secure fittings, ensuring she could perform safely while maintaining the visual fantasy that defined Jeannie. The exposed midriff became more than just a fashion choice. It contributed to the character's charm, mischief, and magical appeal, cementing Jeannie as a figure of fascination in pop culture. The enduring curiosity about her costume underscores the show's lasting impact and the way small visual details can become central to a character's cultural legacy. Number 10. The show played by strict network rules about intimacy. Jeannie and Tony were never shown as sexually intimate. Throughout I Dream of Jeannie, the relationship between Jeannie and Major Tony Nelson was carefully framed to comply with the strict standards of 1960s network television. Barbara Eden has explained that producers and creators deliberately avoided depicting sexual intimacy, maintaining clear boundaries around Jeannie's magical bottle and Tony's bedroom. This decision ensured that their interactions remained playful, comic, and suitable for a family audience, even as the show explored flirtation, jealousy, and romantic tension. The rules were strictly enforced on set, with scripts and staging designed to emphasize humor, mischief, and the novelty of Jeannie's powers rather than sexual content. The limitation shaped the series' tone, reinforcing the whimsical and fantastical aspects of the story while preserving a light, innocuous, romantic narrative. Number 11. The Jeannie brand was huge. Dolls, Barbie tie-ins, and even slot machine merch were produced. I Dream of Jeannie quickly evolved from a popular TV show into a full-fledged merchandising phenomenon, with Barbara Eden's magical character becoming a recognizable brand in her own right. The Jeannie brand expanded far beyond the screen, with dolls and action figures allowing fans to bring the character into their homes, while licensed toys and playsets captured the whimsy of her magical antics. Eden's likeness even appeared in Barbie tie-ins, connecting the character to one of the era's most iconic toys and further cementing her appeal among children and collectors alike. The merchandising extended into unexpected realms as well, including casino slot machines that leveraged Jeannie's enduring popularity decades after the series ended. Number 12. That Oriental harem look was Hollywood shorthand. Critics now point out the show's classic Orientalism. Modern critics and scholars have frequently highlighted that Jeannie's iconic harem costume embodies a classic Hollywood form of Orientalism. The bare midriff, veils, billowing pants, and stylized jewelry were never intended to reflect authentic Middle Eastern clothing. Rather, they were shorthand for exoticism and magic, designed to signal fantasy and otherworldliness to a 1960s American audience. This visual language drew on long-standing cinematic and theatrical stereotypes, presenting a playful but culturally simplified and westernized vision of the Orient. While audiences at the time primarily perceived the costume as whimsical and glamorous, contemporary retrospectives often critique it for perpetuating exoticized and sexualized tropes. Scholars note that the outfit reinforces a fantasy version of the East filtered through Hollywood imagination, rather than offering any historical or cultural accuracy. The design's enduring fame underscores the tension between its effectiveness in establishing a memorable, visually distinctive character and its role in broader patterns of cultural stereotyping, making Jeannie both a beloved icon and a case study in mid-century television's approach to representation. Number 13. There were reunion TV movies, but Larry Hagman didn't always reprise Tony Nelson. The beloved I Dream of Jeannie cast reunited for 2 television reunion movies, attempting to recapture the charm and humor of the original series. The first, I Dream of Jeannie, 15 years later, 1985, brought most of the original actors back to reprise their roles, though not without complications. Larry Hagman, the iconic Tony Nelson, was heavily involved with Dallas at the time, making him unavailable for certain scenes or portions of the production. As a result, the writers either reimagined Tony's presence in creative ways or had other actors temporarily fill in to maintain continuity. 6 years later, I Still Dream of Jeannie, 1991, again tried to reunite the ensemble, but Hagman's availability remained a factor, forcing adjustments in storytelling and character focus. These reunion films highlighted both the enduring appeal of Jeannie and her whimsical adventures and the challenges of reconciling busy schedules of beloved stars with nostalgic television revivals. Despite these hurdles, the movies provided fans a sentimental look back at the magic of the original series. Number 14. Jeannie's home wasn't just a tiny bottle set. It was an elaborate on-set world, and audiences loved the miniature fantasy. Jeannie's home on A Dream of Jeannie was far more than a simple prop. It was a carefully crafted miniature world that helped sell the show's whimsical fantasy. The bottle's interior was an intricately designed set, curved to create a sense of otherworldly enclosure. Inside, the set was lavishly decorated with vibrant silks, plush pillows, sparkling jewels, and ornate patterns, giving the impression of a magical, luxurious refuge hidden within a tiny glass vessel. Every detail, from the way the fabrics draped to the glint of faux gems, was meticulously arranged to convince audiences that this fantastical space could exist, even though it was entirely a practical studio construction. The set's scale, colors, and textures created a visual charm that became instantly recognizable, and viewers delighted in the illusion of Jeannie's secret, enchanting world. This attention to detail elevated the show's sense of wonder, making the bottle more than just a container. It became a symbol of Jeannie's magic and the playful escapism at the heart of the series. Number 15. Tony Nelson's astronaut job mattered. The NASA astronaut premise was core to the series, and many plots leaned on it. Tony Nelson's role as an astronaut was far more than a character detail. It was central to the premise of I Dream of Jeannie and shaped much of the show's humor and storytelling. Portrayed by Larry Hagman, Tony was an Air Force officer assigned to NASA, specifically the Stardust space mission, which immediately grounded the series in a contemporary high-tech world. This connection to space exploration allowed writers to weave recurring plot lines around the tensions between Jeannie's magical interventions and the rigid demands of NASA's protocols. Many gags arose from Tony juggling his duties with the chaos Jeannie caused, often under the watchful eye of military figures like the ever-suspicious Colonel Bellows, whose authority and suspicion added a comedic counterpoint. The astronaut backdrop also gave the series a sense of modern adventure, linking the domestic, fantastical comedy of Jeannie's antics with the excitement and discipline of the space program. Number 16. Jeannie had an on-screen genie family and mythos. Uncle Haji and a genie bureaucracy show up later. As I Dream of Jeannie progressed, the series gradually expanded Jeannie's magical world, giving audiences glimpses of a broader genie mythology beyond her whimsical antics in Tony's life. Central to this expansion was Uncle Haji, portrayed as the wise and sometimes exasperated chief of the genies, who often arrived to enforce magical rules or offer guidance, reinforcing the idea that Jeannie was part of a larger, structured magical society. The show also introduced a genie bureaucracy, a humorous concept suggesting that genies answered to rules, paperwork, and hierarchy, lending a playful sense of order to the otherwise chaotic magic Jeannie wielded. On occasion, the series added twists, like Jeannie's mischievous or evil twin, Jeannie 2, further fleshing out the genie mythos and creating comedic conflicts. These additions transformed Jeannie's universe from a simple magical curiosity into a fully realized world with its own customs, leaders, and internal politics, giving fans more depth, recurring magical storylines, and a sense that the bottle housed only one piece of a vast and enchanting genie society. Number 17. Guest stars included big names. Sammy Davis Jr. was among the most talked about visitors. I Dream of Jeannie frequently welcomed high-profile guest stars, adding excitement and variety to the series while cementing its place in 1960s pop culture. Among the most memorable was Sammy Davis Jr., whose appearance generated significant buzz and remains one of the show's most talked-about episodes. The series often used guest stars to introduce comedic chaos or create unusual scenarios for Tony and Jeannie to navigate, giving the cast opportunities to interact with Hollywood royalty of the era. Barbara Eden has reflected fondly on many of these appearances in interviews, recalling the energy and charisma that stars like Davis brought to the set. These guest roles not only boosted the show's profile, but also allowed the main cast to showcase their chemistry against new and dynamic personalities. For audiences, the guest appearances added a sense of glamour and surprise, making each episode feel like a special event while highlighting the show's broad appeal and its connection to the wider entertainment world of the time. Number 18. The marriage in Season 5 was controversial. Eden says she opposed making Jeannie Tony's wife. The decision to marry Tony and Jeannie in Season 5 of I Dream of Jeannie was one of the series' most controversial creative choices. Barbara Eden has openly stated that she opposed the wedding, feeling that transforming Jeannie from a whimsical, unattached genie into Tony's official wife fundamentally altered the show's playful dynamic. Creator Sidney Sheldon reportedly shared her concerns, believing that the romance and tension between Tony and Jeannie, the heart of the series' humor and charm, would be diminished once the will they or won't they element was resolved. Despite their objections, network executives pushed for the marriage, hoping to refresh the series for its final season and attract viewers with the promise of a new domestic storyline. The wedding episodes forced writers to shift the show's focus, balancing married life with magical hijinks. But some critics and fans later argued that this change undercut the series' original spark. Even decades later, Eden has reflected that while she loved playing Jeannie, she felt the marriage altered the essence of what made the show uniquely playful and suspenseful. Number 19. The show's early openings literally explained the premise, a narrated how they met sequence that disappeared once the show hit its stride. In its earliest episodes, I Dream of Jeannie relied on straightforward exposition to bring audiences up to speed, literally explaining the premise on screen. Narration and on-screen text detailed how astronaut Tony Nelson had discovered Jeannie's bottle on a deserted island and awakened her, setting the stage for the magical adventures to follow. These sequences ensured that viewers who were new to the show could immediately grasp the unusual setup, the dynamic between a mortal and a mischievous genie, and the rules that governed Jeannie's magic. However, once the series found its rhythm and the chemistry between Barbara Eden and Larry Hagman became clear, the producers opted to replace the explanatory openings with a more visually engaging introduction. The new animated, colorful opening sequence, paired with the iconic, catchy theme music composed by Hugo Montenegro, became the version most fans remember fondly. Number 20. Even today, the show endures. Barbara Eden still does conventions, and the series is repeatedly rediscovered and reevaluated by new generations. Decades after it first aired, I Dream of Jeannie continues to captivate audiences, proving its status as a lasting icon of television history. Barbara Eden remains closely connected to the show, regularly appearing at fan conventions, nostalgia events, and special panels where she shares behind-the-scenes stories, personal memories, and reflections on playing Jeannie. The series itself has been rediscovered by successive generations through streaming platforms, DVD releases, and syndicated reruns, allowing both longtime fans and newcomers to experience its unique blend of humor, romance, and fantasy. Anniversary interviews and retrospectives frequently surface, offering fresh insights into the show's production, character dynamics, and enduring appeal. Jeannie's signature bottle, magical antics, and Eden's sparkling performance continue to resonate, ensuring the series remains a fixture in retro TV culture. What do you think about these facts? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.